Thunder Show is on the air again. TC and AB's gonna play your favorite jams. Keep listening. Shit's in his ear. Music that glorifies the land. Don't let the trials of this life bound you and hold you down for long. Turn on your radio, the sons of thunder's playing your favorite song. So put your praise on now, don't worry about it, don't work it out, 'cause it's all a part of this plan. Jamming for Jesus, 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 it's all a part of His majesty. Jesus, jamming the gospel across the land. It's all a part of His majesty. Jesus, jamming the gospel across the land. It's all a part of His majesty.
And you got out there right here on the family station where we take the limits off. It's WOGS 103.9, JFJ Live Talk Radio's Basic the Foundation Show is back at you once again. Industry Frustration Part 3. If you listen to the last show, y'all, if you listen to this by way of YouTube or wherever you're listening to this right now, I got to put it down in just a few moments. But first, I want to introduce my first guest that's with me this evening. He is Mr. Indi Mogul himself, the man. 3HP Records, man, representing out here. To my man Troy Edwards this evening. How you doing, sir?
Well, pretty good, pretty good. How you doing?
I'm keeping it going for a young fella. You know, that's about it. You know what I'm saying? Doing what we do.
Yeah, I like the young part.
Gotta keep it that way, right? I'm a little late, so I got to do this though. I got to give it up for you, man, because you know you the man. So I got to give my applause up. You know what I mean? We got to do the applause thing.
I appreciate it, man. Everybody likes to be. One thing about it, a lot of people like to toot their horn, but then again, people do like to be appreciated because all the hard work, especially in this industry, people like all the hard work that you and I, the service providers in this industry, do. One thing we do, we want to know people are appreciating what we're doing because we don't have to do this. We could be about self like a lot of folks, but we do what God called us to do.
Definitely true, sir. And I definitely applaud for all the work that you've done as well. If you're listening by way of Radio Loyalty this evening, I want to let you know we are working on the website. We had some technical difficulties with the website this evening, so if you can spread the word, I did put the link out on Facebook as well. If you're listening this evening, that Radio Loyalty is going to be the place to hear us live. And also you can call in at 712-432-0075. Access code is 885995. Now, moving on to what I need to address. Last show, we had a situation where someone had tactfully put out about a frustration they had with a particular award show. And, we got some calls about that. And I just want to address this publicly because it was done publicly. We don't mention any names on this show if we talk in regards to anyone. We really don't talk about anyone at all. So we definitely want to keep that at a really to naught, not even at a minimum to naught, because we definitely, one thing about this show is based on educational purposes only. We're not out to try to talk about people or put down what everybody else is doing or anything like that. So I definitely want to address that. So if you listen by way of internet, by way of listening to the rebroadcast, this by way of YouTube, wherever you might be listening to is under the sound of my voice, I just want to address that also as well. We ask that if you're going to promote your information as well, we ask you wait to the end of the show. I did address this before, but I apologize. I have to address this prior to us getting right into what we need to get into, but I do have to address those things. Otherwise, if you can't follow by those rules, we ask you to excuse yourself off the show, and, it's all love. It's nothing, no love lost, but we definitely want to make sure that we get information out to the artists and people that's coming to the industry alike, okay? So I just want to make sure we get that clear. All right, now we can move on. Industry Frustration Part 3. Sure.
Yes.
I had to put it out there, man. That's just how it is, man. But, we talked about, we had a lot of great dialogue last show, though. We are going to, actually have it out there for you guys that didn't listen to it. We're actually in the editing process right now of putting everything together for that show, because it was a great show and a lot of people did call in, a lot of artists called in and things like that. But, we're on part 3 of this thing, man, and, I want to get down to some solutions. But can you share any other frustrations out there that you're experiencing right now with the artists or with the industry?
Yes, I think after I did the Newsom Awards this weekend, and it was I loved it. God who was there, people who was there was who was there. But we just wanted to get into the mindset of people who's doing things and helping people and doing the independent award shows. I stress people to support with these independent artists are doing. And if somebody's doing a show and stuff, because last year, as I told you earlier, this guy charged $100 a ticket, and the place was jam packed. Mm-hmm. And this time it was free, and it didn't actually get the turnout that anyone expected. But the people who was there, who was meant to be there, and I guess the simple fact is, I think that most of the people who was there were the ones that were nominated. And I think if you're up for an award and you want to get honored, just like in high school and all that kind of stuff, if someone's honoring you for all your hard achievements and stuff, we have to get back to inviting our family, our friends and stuff. We can't just depend on the person who had an event to having the people there, because if you're getting honored that night, just like you did in high school, you invite everybody out because you're excited. And people don't have to do awards and stuff to honor folks. So when people do that, it takes time, it takes money out of their pocket to do things. And I think industry frustration is basically called, I want to say this part is about appreciation. Mm-hmm. That's what I sum it up, more of a appreciation for the things that people do because they don't have to do it.
Good stuff. And we already got a caller in from 443. We'll get them on the line right now. 443 on the air. 443? Okay, I think they're just listening right now. Let's see if we can get them in. Are you there, 443? Oh, okay. Well, they might be listening right now. We'll get them on. But if you just tuned in, of course, you listen to the Basic Foundation Show. TC here with you, along with Troy Edwards this evening. If you want to call in with any questions, comments, or concerns, the number call is 712-432-0075, access code 885-995. Addressing what you just said, man, that you're right. Appreciation goes a long way, especially as we stated, at the beginning of the show, as far as basically showing your appreciation for what the work that's put in. We put in a lot of work. I know I put in a lot of work with the Basic Foundation Show, trying to come up with things to try to help the artists, talk about these frustrations and, things that goes on. And also come down with solutions as well. I know we talked a lot about frustration for the past few shows. And, we want to get a lot of those out so we can go ahead and get down to some solutions, because I think right now that, and looking at the indie artists, man, you probably can agree with this. That a lot of indie artists are struggling money-wise, and I think it's because, do you think it's due to the change of the industry, going from the digital download age, or the fact of they have a lot of knowledge offered to them, but they're not taking heed to it? I mean, what are some of the things that's frustrating about that?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with artists. That's definitely important of a marketing and promotion person or a PR person, and a lot of things they don't have. And I think one mistake a lot of the independent artists, they have managers. They have managers who's their wife, managers who don't really know. Because to be honest, a lot of managers in the gospel industry, they don't know how to manage.
Okay.
They don't know the definition of management and what to do as a manager, and what, how to take, to have the connection, connecting the dots of where the artist's supposed to be. And, a lot of people use their managers as their wives and stuff like that. And understand they trust their wives and stuff, but when it comes down to the business end, they don't know how to critique, build, or the connections, because basically if you're in the same household, you basically got the same connections. You've got, and you basically, everything's a learning process. I understand that your wife is handling your bookings and all that kind of stuff, and there's some good managers out there that do the things they do. I'm not going to knock them, but there's a lot of independent artists out there, and if you get with a real manager or PR person or person in marketing promotion, they can basically show you how to make more bang of the buck. They're used to taking all your money and flooding in the studio time, and when your album comes out, you don't have no placements, you have nowhere to go, and you don't do it. And a lot of people spend money on videos, they spend studio time, and once they got their music, they put it out there, and then they get frustrated because they don't get no record sales.
Right.
And, put it on YouTube and all that. You got to do things accordingly. And, a lot of labels not really considered labels, and they're doing things, they don't even have distribution, and they just so satisfied doing iTunes. And a lot of companies and businesses don't recognize you unless you have a distribution deal. So I feel that a lot of if the independent artists will get into a learning process, going to these conferences, but a lot of the conference a lot of process needs to take place too, because it keeps giving out the same information. So, and I go to a very few Christian conferences because the simple fact is they give out the same information. Mm-hmm. It's not really relevant, and you're just teaching artists what to do. So you can teach an artist what to do, but you don't consult them and teach them about, artist management, and teaching them about basically about stage presence and all that kind of stuff, because you can't teach stage presence over a phone or at a conference. Everything is one-on-one. So I think if an artist can strive to get better, and basically artists need to listen, because most of the artists think they know everything. A lot of independent artists do think they know everything. So the simple fact is, I always want the independent artist to always remain a student, because you keep in your mindset as a student, you're always going to be willing to learn.
That's good stuff. If you just tuned in, you tuned in to Basic Foundation, Industry Frustration Part 3. We're talking about some frustrations this evening. We are going to come up with solutions. And I got the hot seat man coming in right now. None other from CJB Radio, none other than Kevin James. How you doing, sir?
Praise God. How y'all doing, man? How everybody doing? Troy and everybody. I don't even know who's on the call, but
that's all right. It's just you and Troy at this point. Want to reiterate. I'm reiterating this for everybody. I don't know if you heard me prior to the broadcast, but I was bringing up an incident that happened, and I'm sorry for everybody that's listening to this, but I have to bring it up now. Last broadcast, we had some things going where some people got called in regards to some names being mentioned on the air, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands that we're using this Basic Foundation platform as a way of promoting and also educating the artists for, going to the next level in their ministry. So we're no longer going to mention any names, and we're no longer going to get into, frustration in regards to when it has to bring up names. Also, as well, is that if we're going to promote anything, we're going to wait till the end of the show, like we said previously, and we had some people that didn't understand that and didn't follow that. So we're going to have to make that sure that we get all that out in the air now, so that way we don't have to address it again. So that's why I want to make sure of that. What's up, man? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you, man?
I am doing wonderful.
How about you?
Glad to have you on the show as always, sir.
That was a great piece right there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
A great piece.
Appreciate it.
Of course, you know how I roll.
Yes, sir.
You was right about what happened last week. I don't know, and I'm going to keep on moving because I don't want nobody to get upset.
Yes, sir.
But I just came in on the short end, so I just have to catch up, I guess, to catch up where everyone is at.
Sure, I can catch you up to speed. Basically, we were talking about the industry frustration, looking at the artists, and basically looking at the fact of, is it, the reason why independent artists haven't moved to the next level is because of some of the fact that they acquiring the knowledge and they're not using it, is because of the digital download age. What is it that's not catapulting them to the where they need to be? Now, I'm not knocking any conferences that goes on. I'm not knocking anything that's going to be educational for the artists, but you can't make nobody do nothing they don't want to do. So the thing is, what is it that we think that's kind of stopping a lot of independent artists from moving forward to the next level?
I did come in and it was heard Troy was talking about some of the artists going to all these conferences and you're getting the same information. A lot of these conferences that these artists are going to, they're not getting the right information, really. I don't know if Troy said it or not, but they're not getting the right information at all. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the people who are giving out the information is really, the truth it has to be told. They're looking out for their pocket more than they're looking out for the artist getting to the next level. Mm-hmm. So that's a part of it that is stopping the artists from getting to that next level. And the next thing is the artists themselves. Mm-hmm. They'll start stopping themselves because it's wide open. It's open for them. All they have to do is step into it. The artists are not doing things that it takes to get to that next level. Mm-hmm. As Troy was stating, you need a lot of one-on-one. We have to understand, even though we have independent artists, this thing is still ran the same way that the major labels used to run it. Regardless if you're an independent artist or not, it still have to go that route, that the consumer's mindset. So you have to do like the artist development. You have to know how a manager needs to know what he needs to do to put his artists in certain places. So a lot of the artists is not doing what they should do to get to that next level. Like I talk about it all the time, artist development is so key to our artist career. We don't have a whole lot of artists. We got a lot of singers. I always say that. I know everybody probably say, you said that last week. Well, I'm just repeating the truth, all right? Repeating the truth.
I looked at something on YouTube talking about Curtis Jackson. We all know him as 50 Cent. And he said something that was very interesting as far as the music industry. And I thought it was pretty much key. And what he was saying basically now, with the digital download age, what's obsolete now is artist development, because a lot of times now people can go on YouTube. Your phone is a camera, so pretty much you can see a lot of the artists and a lot of things before they actually get into that stage of really coming out. People can already know who the artist is now before they come out, and a lot of times they're going into it figuring that's the way of advertising and that's the way of getting their things out there without being developed.
Right, and that is definitely true, because a lot of especially in the gospel industry, a lot of the independents are not developed. Some of them can sing very well, but they're not well developed as artists to draw people to them, and that's what sells units. It's according on what you're in this thing for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of artists really don't know why they're here. They really don't. Well, I'm in it for ministry, but then I want to sell some units. Now, what are you in it for? You're in it for ministry, you're in it for the business, or what is it? Because when you're in it for the ministry, give away your CDs, all right? Just give the CDs away, because you really don't care about the money. So they have to think that way. You know what I mean? I'm serious. But if you're going to be in it for the business and you're trying to sell units, then you need to do what it's going to take for you to sell units, and that is definitely going to be some type of artist development. The imaging has to be done. This thing is not a fly by night thing. It's going to take you a while before you can become a real artist. It takes a year or two.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. What do you think about that, Troy?
Yeah, I think it is. We said that everything was great, the points that he was making, and the simple fact is, like, I can iterate what he was saying. The artist, how you expect, if you invest in yourself, why would someone invest in you? If you can't take a little bit of money and invest it, and then one thing about it, these artists turn a lot of people off because they're always trying to sell their music to service providers. We provide you a service, and you're trying to sell us a CD. You go to these radio stations, you go to these conferences, and you're trying to sell your CD. Walking up trying to sell your CD to Kevin James and Henry Harris and all them type of people. Why are you trying to sell your product when you're trying to get radio play? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you come to a network, you want to know who's there and who's what, and get an opportunity when you walk up to people, find out who they are before you insult them about buying your project. And I always tell artists all the time, I am on a lot of stations. So people always say, would you bless my ministry? Yes, I'll bless your ministry by playing your music if it's good. Second of all, I can't afford. I wouldn't buy you. The reason I wouldn't bless an artist to buy their product, the simple fact is, it'd be unfair for me to buy his product when I got all these other people's music that I could have blessed. So we got service providers and a lot of radio people to come to a place like, look, we provide you a service. We could be charging you. The simple fact is, you have to give something to get in the music industry. And, we all know it's all about giving, and that's where our heart is. But there's a business side. So if the giving part is giving your product, letting people critique it, and be able to take criticism. Because if people want to reach the world, you don't want the world to give you opinion about your CD, especially if they like it or not anyway. Because if they're not down with Christian music, you're not going to get a good comment at all. The simple fact is, learn to take criticism. And all it is a matter of opinion. But sometimes you have to listen to that opinion because that opinion might give you strive and press you harder to work harder and to get better, because we all try to do, one thing we're supposed to do is learn from our mistakes. And we always supposed to be striving to get better as Christians and working in excellence. So, so I agree everything that Kevin was saying about the artist. So, and we talked about that frustration part, and then now we're giving you the solution. So when we give y'all solutions, you got to take it, because Kevin, TC, Troy are giving you free information that you would have to pay us to come to a conference to get. So right now we're here talking about the frustrations. Now we're going to the part of the solution, and we're giving you free solutions. Take it. Whatever you do, when you come on Basic Foundation, basic frustration, write things down that we're saying. Because if we feel it's important to give it to you, and we can help you take things to a whole nother level, take it.
And that's something. Is I'm muted?
No, you're on, sir.
Oh, okay. Because I just want to make sure. Troy said something about artists writing things down. That is a key. We talk about a lot of stuff. Last year on the Basic Foundation, man, we gave out the whole entire map for free.
Yes.
And you mean to tell me I look and I see an artist that was on that call and they are doing everything the opposite of all the stuff that we were saying? It's frustrating to me. Mm-hmm. It's really frustrating. So I really tell the artists right to this day, please get the information and use the information, because it's going to come to a time where all of this free information that you're going to be getting is not going to be here anymore. I'm just, how I roll. I roll being honest about it. Mm-hmm. People are getting frustrated.
That's true.
People who are trying to help the artists move to the next level. I'm going to tell you, go ahead on and spend your $300-400 to go to the conference and get the information from them, because the information I'm giving you, you're not using it. So go spend your money, and you'd rather do that anyway. Mm-hmm. But the thing I think an artist should really do is sit down and just wait for a minute. Take your time. Take your time. Stop trying to rush the project out there. Learn everything that you can learn, and go in steps. Go in steps. Go to artist development. Do the voice training. A lot of people I'd say the voice training. Oh, I can sing. I can sing. Well, you need voice training all through your career. Even Beyonce, Whitney Houston had a vocal coach throughout her career. So you definitely need that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
a lot of artists feel like they don't. But when you don't have that, you don't come out on stage. You're not sounding as good as you think you sound.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's the truth is the truth. So but I'm gonna be here. I've been here for 15 years and preaching the same stuff over and over again. So I guess I'm gonna be here for the year 16, preaching the same stuff over and over again, right, sir?
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Let me do this real quick. If you just tuned in, of course, Basic Foundation Show, Industry Frustration Part 3. We're working on getting Part 2 out once again. We're editing some things out of that Part 2 show. But we are going to get it out to you. And if you want to call in with any questions, comments, concerns, of course, the website is down right now for a second. Got some technical difficulties, but you are listening through Radio Loyalty right now. So definitely, if you want to call in, 712-432-0075. Again, that's 712-432-0075. The access code is HH5995. I got 443. Wait, I want to see the 443 want to say something here. 443 on the air. Okay, I guess 443 listening tonight. Okay, that's a good thing. No problem at all. Wow, Troy, what you got to say, man? I mean, Kevin had put it down tonight already.
You know, I want to bring up something about the record industry association. The simple fact is we do things improperly, and that's why the things are changing. Just like what Jay-Z did, getting all those record sales beforehand. So the simple fact is, we basically, things have changed because a lot of artists have been doing things incorrectly. And a lot of artists are doing things incorrectly. And I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of these labels were basically selling they were actually doing a lot of pre-orders, and a lot of record labels were buying their own products. And then when Jay-Z did the Samsung deal, they got all those pre-orders, and so he sold 1 million copies. So basically, what record labels were doing to push their artists, to get them to a platform to get the consumers to buy their CD, they went out there, the record label itself went out there and bought CDs, and once they bought CDs, they basically took the artists on tour and sold those products for a higher profit. So just say if your album's about to drop, the record label went out and bought 5,000 copies. So when they bought those 5,000 copies, it get charted. So when right now you bought 5,000 copies, you basically want to be charted on the Billboard. So once you get the album comes out, you get the real consumer numbers, and you got the label numbers. The labels got all those products for $5 a pop. Then they can go to concerts to sell those CDs and double their profit. Not $5, sell it for $15 or $10. So the recording industry Association of America basically changed the rules because the industry was documenting things that wasn't right and correctly. So a lot of people don't realize they're trying to get all these units and trying to keep up with the secular world is doing, when the secular world it had the funds to go out there and boost the artists up, boost their sales up. So you said this album went platinum the first week. So when the album goes platinum the first week, everybody gets into a craze. So they run out and say, we got to get that album, even though the album might not be that good. So in the secular world, in the Christian world, we have to get back to doing things fundamentally straight, because it's not really fair LL Cool J talked about it. It's not really fair for people to be getting a project for free when you got artists that work real hard on their product, and once they go out there and sell, they want a legitimate sale so they can get the legitimate placement on a billboard, because it took away of the logistics and the legitimacy of the see how y'all do. I make up words to go along. So when we do make up. You don't know what sales are real and what sales are fake. So I'm glad that the IRAA came back to basically come to a place to get artists. Only thing I don't like about it, your digital sales will show up in the first week. Your a lot of your sales from physical won't show up until a month.
Wow.
So artists that will legitimate will go platinum or gold the first week. You actually won't see those numbers until close to a month. So we made things harder for the industry, and a lot of the people that they got caught doing this was basically the black community that was doing it. So a lot of the black labels were doing it. So they didn't fix it because of Jay-Z. They fixed it because the things that's going on. So we got to stop glorifying and looking at what the secular world is doing when the secular world had the funds to push for those totals. So people look at that as not being an even playing field. So we just getting back to do things right. And I actually wanted to put that out there because there's artists that get upset because they don't get the numbers they do as the secular world do, because the billboard is the billboard. Less is the gospel, but the top 20 is the top 20. So, but the simple fact is, hip hop still makes impact. Hip hop still going to make all the units. They still the most influenced music in the secular industry, but in the Christian industry, the hip hop industry is the lowest. Mm-hmm. So we have to get to a place to get these radio stations to play a little bit of this hip-hop music. But I always stress these artists, don't be sending this hardcore 50 Cent stuff to these radio stations and churches, because that stuff is too hard. Do that when you go to the youth ministry. But when you put out records, that's why artists go to a place of learning to, like most of the hard hip-hop rappers, they didn't start selling units until they went more commercial.
Right.
So they had to clean up their music. So these artists that's getting frustrated about these record sales stations not playing your stuff, get with a singer. You even get with a singer, and then do a feature on that album. Do a feature with, you got to pay all these other artists. But if you find a singer that would do a song with you that do get radio play, give them a little bit of what you do. So the next time those people will go out and look out for your artists because they like your material. So those are frustrations I want to talk about of the artists that's looking at record sales or what the secular world is doing and the Christians doing. But now we're solidifying true chart reports. And then, of course, I want to, just giving you information about artists, how to approach these radio stations with your content and your music and be more professional. You can't go to Kevin James and say, yo, yo, yo. Be about your business. Be like, hello, sir, how you doing? I heard you're on Christian Jukebox. Can you? I'm submit your material, and when you get a chance, you can check it out, critique it for me. And if you like it, let me know. And if there's something on this music, maybe I can fix it. So the next time I give you music, you might like it and you'll play it. These are things you don't do. People want to get upset and walk away with their tail between their legs, upset and mad at Christian Jukebox because they told them the truth.
Wow. Yeah. Is that what it is?
That's a good. I was going to say something about that too.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Well. Basically, this is going to go off. This is something that I just heard. A young man is listening in. I guess he's a young man. His name is Mark. I'm not too sure. I think he's calling from the Baltimore area.
Okay.
He was asking who is Kevin James?
Yeah, who is Kevin James? Who is that man?
Well, we're not going to go into that. That's a long story. But he did act. I'm program director at CJB Radio. But the thing I want to tell the artists that are listening in right now that I'm having a lot of problems with. Artists feel like, they hear this thing about people, you have to make all of these relationships. I think I just spoke on this before. Listen, let me tell you something. You can make all the relationships. It's good to have friends and people that you know. But do not count on them people doing things for you. Prime example is me. I'm going to take me.
Okay.
Artists say, I'm your friend. Oh, hey, Kev. Hey, man, got a brand new single, man. Hey, man, put it on. No, don't look for that to happen. Don't, just because you're my friend, don't look for me to play your record. I'm not just going to play your record because you're my friend. I'm not going to do it. And Troy is my friend. Even with Troy artists, I do have one of his artists was a top that. Who was it, Troy? Oh man, Lord, I think his record was #1 on my chart one time. But even with Troy, it's all the music that come over. I don't play it because Troy is my friend.
Okay.
I don't do that. And like Troy was just saying, I'm a straight, and everyone knows I'm straight. I'm honest, and I'm gonna tell you directly whether or not I'm gonna play it or not.
Oh,
and
really?
It's not because I'm a friend. So relationships is good to have,
yes,
but don't use the relationships thinking that you're gonna get favor because you're not. You're not. And this is not just me. All the way across the board. All right, all the way across the board. You are not going to get favor from me. All right, so you have to bring something to the table before I play you. You got to bring something to the table other than a friendship, breakfast, or a dinner. Some people say, "Well, I'll take you out to dinner," and that's not going to work. All right, go ahead, man.
Can I add my 2 cents on that?
Sure, man.
The music got to be hot for me. I'm sorry. The thing is that I pride myself on playing quality music. That's the thing for me. Whether you're my friend or not. If you're my friend, you putting out some mess, guess what? I'm going to tell you it's a mess. If it's hot, then it's hot. That's just me. I'm not doing it based on that, but I like quality music, no matter who it comes from. That's just me personally. So the thing is that if it's hot music, I'm going to play it. If it's not, and Kevin knows, me and Kevin kind of on the same keel when it comes down to music because we understand the quality of what we're looking for in order for us to play your music. Now, it has to be radio ready. I have to say that. This is my frustration with artists, that they send you things. I had one artist tell me, oh, man, this is #1 hit, man. I'm about to play this, man, from Kingdom Come. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to get played on this station and that station and, and all this. And that's okay. Let me check it out. If it's hot, I got to check it out. You know what I'm saying? I got that's in the middle, man, please. First of all, it's not mixed down right. It's not mastered. You got to get with somebody that know how to do that. I didn't critique him to say that, he couldn't go ahead and do it because he had a great voice. It's just that the production and the mix of the song and the mastering of the song was not in sync. And you definitely want to make sure. There's one thing about it, you can't go in the boo-boo's basement talking about, hey, I can sing because grandma told me to sing. You have to be skilled in this thing. It's just like on the secular side. I mean, people get mad at you sometimes when you don't play their stuff, and they say, oh, man, what you call the players? So that's what you call them. They want to play things that's not of quality, then, hey, that's them. But when it comes down to what I do, I take this seriously, just like you take your craft seriously. So I take this seriously as being a radio announcer, promoter, whatever you want to call it, a DJ, to play quality music. And that's why I try to stress to artists that, look, when you get with somebody, make sure they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just because, it may sound good in the studio in your headphones, but that's not mixing and mastering. That's not mixing and mastering at all. So,
the thing, Troy brought out another great point. Commercial. I don't care, independent, internet, radio, whatever. The music has to be commercial.
Yes.
You can't just do. Oh well, since I'm independent now, they got internet. Oh man, I can do this song like this. I can make the song 7 minutes long. Send it to radio. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
The music you put out, especially to radio, has to be commercial. All right, it just can't be because you like it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing to do is go and listen to the sound that is out today and try to bring that sound into your what you're doing. Because if not, it's not going to sell. A lot of people like different stuff. Well, they like it, but will they buy it?
That's key.
See, a lot of music. I hope a lot of people listen. I hope a lot of people hear what I'm saying. A lot of music is being played. A lot of people say, I like it. And they probably do like it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the reason why I want it on radio. I want it on radio so you can go and buy it.
Yes. Yes.
So liking and buying is two different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So everyone has to realize that.
I'm glad you brought that out because, what I see too and what I found out just by looking at some of the, some of the artists, you're so right about that, man. You can like something, but, are they going to buy it? Is it good enough to buy? I know with me, I put myself in the consumer shoes a lot of times. I'm listening to different stations and listening to some of the songs. I'm like, would I buy that? You know what I'm saying? Would I really, I mean, it's good enough for radio. I'm not saying it's not, a good song or anything. It's just for me personally, for my taste, would I buy it? And I think that's key as well. Troy, what you guys say about that?
Yeah, and another thing, I don't want everybody to get upset with Kevin and what TC's saying. And everyone has their own flavor. So if they don't like it, there's not saying you forget about it, scrap it. Maybe
right.
Other stations will like it and will play it.
Right.
But the simple fact is, as stations, you play what the consumers want. The simple fact is, maybe Kevin James don't like it. Maybe you get 20 other stations like it and get it on the chart.
Mm-hmm.
So then Kevin gets it back and says, well, you know what, I don't like it. It's not my flavor. But if this is what the people want and this is what the people are doing, I mean, if people are listening to, maybe I'll just have to play it. But the simple fact is, don't get upset when one person tells you something because it's not what they feel. And, and it should strive you to work even harder and keep it moving. But if you get a whole bunch of people saying it's garbage, I tend it might be true. But when I started at WFDR,
uh-huh.
I was listening to the stations and all that kind of stuff. I was playing. I said, I told the station, I'm playing all the hot songs. I'm playing all the hot songs. And he said, Troy, do you want the viewers and listeners? I said, yeah. He said, Troy, you got to get a place to play what the consumers want, even though you don't like it. So I learned if I don't like the song, but the people are requesting it and it's going on the chart,
right.
I'm supposed to play it because we as a job, we want listeners.
Right, exactly.
So I don't want artists to get upset because Kevin James and TC or Troy Evans won't play your music because this is just our opinion. Mm-hmm. And sometimes our radio show, don't get mad at the people because certain stations have different demographics and play certain type of music. So if you hit me up and I'm a jazz station, I'm not going to play hip hop.
Right.
So, but and I just want to tell people these are our opinions. These are good opinions, and a lot of these are facts. But
I was going to
say, a lot of stuff we are speaking facts because sometimes people got to realize that God give us a right to have a voice.
Yes, sir.
And we earn our right to have a voice because we've been doing this for so long. There's a lot of people who got stuck on the past and hadn't moved it. Those are people that need to move aside and start doing something else. But when you have an ear for good music, you have an ear for good music, no matter if you like it or not. Because there was certain type of music and genre that I didn't like, but I had to get back to a place to saying, wait a minute, Troy, you got an ear for music. Mm-hmm. Listen to the music. Listen to the arts. Listen to change. Because a lot of people don't want to listen to change because they don't want to change. Listen to the music, and you might like it. And then I go back to it. It might not what I liked at that time, but when I had this opportunity to go back and just go through music again, I'm listening to it. I said, okay. because sometimes you feel rushed to listen to a song. Automatically, you're going to think, hey, I'm not going to like this. So when you listen to it, you don't like it. But the next thing you go to a cookout or something, you hear the music like, oh, man, who did that? This dude sent me the song. But it was the time and place and how the artist got on your nerves about listening to it. You didn't give it a proper hearing because you automatically thought about how the artist came and approached to you. They played my music, yo, yo, yo. And the last thing I hate for artists, and I get phone calls all the time, and, you know, now that I'm one gospel record label of the year, my phone has been blown off the hook. And everybody comes to me and say, hey, I'm the next big thing. Mm-hmm. Everybody claims they're the next big thing. That's okay, but you don't have to tell us that.
Right.
That's your word. That's your music. Show for itself. Like, look, sir, I'm just going to give you this music. If you like it, play it. If you don't, give me feedback.
Let me interject this.
You don't have to tell us that you're the next big thing.
Right.
Everybody thinks they're the next big thing. Only person that can tell me they're the next big thing, and I believe it, is Jesus Christ.
I know that's right.
He's already the next big thing. And in music-wise, honestly, if you're not Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, or something, you can't come to me and tell me you're great. Because no one heard you. If you don't have a fan base, you might not be that good. And artists come together. Unity. If you don't have a fan base, come together with other artists. Help build each other's fan base. Because when you drop your CD, you get upset because you only got 2 sales. I told you before you drop it that your 5 fans, your 100 fans are not going to buy your album. 5 out of the 100, 3 out of the 100 might buy it. But it's no simple fact. Don't let these people tell you to put out an album and that you're great when you don't have a fan base. But then you get upset. And who you get mad at? You get mad at God. You're frustrated because you told me to do this, God, but God didn't tell you to drop an album right now.
That's true. Let me interject this. Let me interject this real quick, and I'll let you go, Kevin. What I want to say in regards to not liking the music is not the fact that I wouldn't like the music, but it has to be radio ready. It has to be something I can play on the radio. It has to be something I would buy. Yeah. I do want to interject that because the thing is that, I mean, we have our opinions about it. Like you said, if it's a jazz station, of course I'm not gonna play hip hop because I play all jazz. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a traditional gospel station, I'm not gonna play the R&B type of stuff. So I understand that. In the juncture of everything, though, I will say that sometimes I think even radio stations we do have to expand out beyond our comfort zones to play something that's different because people do want to hear stuff different. I really find that out a lot just by listening from our own radio stations and things like that. That people want to hear something different. But definitely artists, we definitely want to implore you. Please make sure that you research the radio station that you submit your music to. And also, we implore you once again to put out quality music. Make sure that if somebody on the street that never heard your music before would buy it. That's the thing that you want to actually, the demographic you want to reach. Because the thing is that, if it's not mixed or mastered, man, it's not going to do you any good. I don't care who listened to it. I don't care if it's mom and them, grandmama and them, baby, that's nice. They probably tell you it's nice, it's not to hurt your feelings. But what I try to do with artists is let them know that the song may not be bad, the melody may not be bad, the idea may not be bad. It's just that whoever produced it may not be that right fit for them. And I try to encourage them in other ways as well. Now, sometimes it's just plain, not going to make radio, it's just not going to make radio. But I do try to encourage them and show them areas where they can improve in. Go ahead, Kevin. Mark is on Facebook. I tell Mark to call in 712. Give Mark the number 712.
Okay, I think Mark listening in, call in because Mark said that the Christian labels. I just want to give him a little piece on the Christian labels have no money for development. So the conversation really is none aboard. But let me tell you like this. The artist, which you did come back and you did state that expenses on an artist. Mm-hmm. Well, if a label do not have money to develop the artist, you know what? If they're dealing with a lot of independent artists, that label, I hate to say this, and I'm not saying this in a mean way.
Sure.
I'm just saying it, as being truthful. That label need to shut down. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm being Troy. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because if you have a label and you cannot develop the talent that you have on that label, there's no sense in you having that label up.
Yeah.
All right, that's the truth. So, and in these days and times, being that there's no label signing, not a lot of them, no way, they're signing a lot of artists. Well, yes, the development expense is on the artist. The artist has to act like the label. That's why they're independent, because the artist now has to act just like that label. So yeah, the expense is on the artist to do the development. But as far as the labels go, if you are a label and you cannot afford to develop your artist, shut your label down, because you're not going to make no money. Straight up, that's the truth.
Let me interject something else. Go ahead, Joy. Go ahead.
I think a lot of the problem is because the label. See one thing about it, let's be truthful about it. A lot of labels follow what the industry's doing. When all the industries shut down their artist development department, so these labels feel like they ain't needed.
Right.
But you got to realize, when they shut down the artist development department, what did the labels do? And this is what the people ain't catching on. They signing already established, known artists, so they won't have to do that work.
Exactly.
And that's the part that they're missing. And one thing about it, I give kudos to a lot of the music industry right now. Only part that I give kudos is not a good kudos. So let me make that straight. It's not a good kudos. The good kudos is you don't have to be a good artist to get radio play anymore.
That's
it's
true.
Not like the 60s and 70s.
That is so
Kevin
true.
And TC can vouch for it. Back in the day, when a song came out, it hit you when it started. And when it went to the end, you went and pushed record. I remember back in the days, when you played songs over and over again, that same song. We don't get songs like that anymore.
That's right.
Never would have made it. I think a lot of people did play that song over and over and over and over again. I think, it was a shock factor, because when you listen to it, it hits you. And a lot of music today don't hit you. A lot of songs in the 80s, that's why we was able to watch television and music, all the music stations and stuff, because no matter if you're white, black, anything, we appreciated music of all colors back in the 80s. And,
70s,
so it gives you a mindset to really appreciate different music, different cultures, and everything. So we lost that somewhere along the line, because industry start putting out junk, and people say, okay, it's okay, but I'll play it. And a lot of these people getting played because they were able to give these DJs a nice check. Back then, they still do it to this day. A lot of nice check and made it get radio play. Just because you came off a major label, they put hot promotions on it. They forced the radio stations to play it because they had no choice to play it, because everything else was playing is junk.
Right.
But back in the day, when the music came on, people was battling. I remember when the top 50...
Music was music.
Yes.
Yeah. The song on the top 50 was nice.
Right.
It just didn't move up the charts because the whole music industry was flooded with good. And back in the day, you had your one-hit wonders, but those one-hit wonders were one-hit. So you had good talent, one-hit wonders flooding the charts.
Right.
Now, the top 10, half of them is not even that good. Maybe 3 will say, yes, that music got a good beat. One out of the top 10, that song is nice.
Yes. And you know what? Going back, if you're looking back, on the secular side, you look at the people like Eric Benet, R. Kelly, Later Hathaway. They keep that neo soul, that soul vibe going because of the simple fact, because they know that's real music. Everything now is a hook. It's a hook and a beat. That's all it is. That's all it is, a hook and a beat. He said, my toe in the front. It's gonna sell tomorrow.
But you know why? This is Mark. I know Mark is listening. This is why I was talking about development, Mark, because he just made a comment that Christian labels, what he said, please don't talk about development because labels don't do it in Christian music. Well, let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. All right. Number one, there's no more labels.
Right. It's only it's still some labels.
We can kind of forget that.
Yeah, it's still labels. It's just that a lot of them are being bought out.
You don't have labels. Yeah. You don't have labels signing artists to major recording deals anymore. where the label is going to spend $600,000-$700,000.
Yes, sir.
You don't have that no more.
Yes,
so,
sir.
yeah, you're right, Mark. Labels right now, they don't talk about development because they're not signing artists. But when the labels in Christian music were signing artists, the major thing in that label was development. You can go and ask Vicky Mack. She's probably one of your top at it. She did it with Kirk Franklin and the Family.
Yes.
She developed Kirk Franklin and the Family. She built the Family. It was no Kirk Franklin and no Family. She made the Family and brought it into Kirk.
Yes.
So development was in Christian music. You have to have development with artists because that's how they sell. Listen, Troy just said it. Back in the days, it was good music. So with music being sold today, how are they selling it if the music isn't good? Well, how? They're selling it through development.
Yes.
They are selling images.
Yes.
It's okay, Mark. I know Mark was, he's
Tell Mark to call in 712-432.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to call in.
Yeah,
I hope.
yeah.
I know if he's listening, he should call in.
Yeah, tell him to call in. We got the number for him. We got the number for him.
Yeah, no question, man.
Yeah.
I want him to call in. But yeah, development. I don't care how we look at this thing, and especially in this day and time, artist development is a must. Artists cannot be successful without being an artist. How can an artist be successful as an artist if he's not she is not an artist?
That's true.
You can't be successful at it. You can be successful at singing. You can go to your churches and sing, but you can't be an artist. And you see what I'm saying? You can't move units. And with me and Troy, with Troy owning the label, he knows that's what this thing is all about. It's all about moving units. When I was with EMI, not gospel, urban. I'm talking about platinum at all times. So I ain't talking about gospel. With D'Angelo and so forth, but we're talking double platinum artists. It was all about moving units. To move them units, you had to have a talent that was developed by you to sell it. I don't know if they understood what I just said or not. You had to have that talent, and you had to mold that talent into what you wanted to be to sell the unit. A lot of people probably don't understand what I'm saying because
I understand.
They're not there. But, yes, you need development.
Yeah, and then the one thing about it, let me break this down to artists. A record label. A record label is a bank. You are the investment. If you're not a return on the investment, that's why the label lets you go. You can't get upset and develop a relationship with these labels and CEOs that you're buddy, but they let you go. It's always a business side. If you're not a return on their investment, you're not doing anything for the label but to lose money. If the label are not moving the artist, you're not with the label. That's not even a label. Labels only want to work because they want to take hot talent and put their music out there and don't push. Talent doesn't mean anything if you don't have no engine to push it. That's like having a nice Lamborghini with no engine inside.
And that's why labels are not signing the artists anymore. Because what happened was the labels knew it was costing a lot of money to develop these artists. It was costing millions of dollars, but the return wasn't coming back as big. So that's why they shut it down. They stopped it, and now they're going to distribution deals and so forth. You don't hear about a label spending $700,000 on an artist or no more. You don't hear about it. So the independent artists that are out there today, you have to learn how to budget your money to be able to get an artist development. You got people that out here is doing it for $200-$300.
Yes, sir.
You need to get with some of them people.
Yes, sir. That's good stuff. Well, let me do this. We just tuned in. JFJ Live Talk Radio, Basic Foundation Show coming at you. Kevin James, CJB Radio with us. Also, Mr. Mogul himself, Indi Mogul, I should say, Troy Edwards. If you want to call in, the number to call in is 712-432-0075. Again, that's 712-432-0075. Access code 885-995. Talking some good stuff tonight. You know what? As far as development, you're so right, Kevin. You have to invest into it, or you have to learn how to develop yourself as being an independent artist, I say, because you know what type of image you want to portray at the same time. I know you might need some help, but you have to learn. It's video actually on YouTube. You can actually look at artist development and things like that.
That's right.
And we have people on this call, such as Troy Edwards and such as Kevin, can probably help you, even give you some tips on how to develop yourself as an artist as well, because they've been in the industry, they've been with labels and stuff. Like I said, Troy has his label now. Kevin been with a label before, so he understands the importance of artist development as well. So. It's key to really develop yourself and have an image. I mean, I look at a lot of people that we've had on our, down with us, with the Basic Foundation Show, and a lot of them have gone ahead and created an image, and they're going on to do other things now. So, with that being said, I mean, I concur with the redevelopment, the actually development of the character, if you will, of an artist, because a lot of artists out there are characters. So you want to go ahead and develop your character. As far as being in the industry, that's very important, because the thing is, whatever your character is, what you develop is, that's what the people's going to follow. Go ahead, Kev.
That's right. And well, Mark came back, of course. Mark, I don't know why he don't want to call in, because I really need him to call in.
Me too.
He said, wow, I stated a fact. Labels do not do development. Well, he said truth is truth. He said if somebody wants the straight facts on today's label situation, he's willing to talk to him. Let me clear this thing up real fast. As far as a label situation, there's not too many of them out there. Number one,
right? And
if you're independent artist, really, for real, you can do it on your own.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, I'm just gonna be straight facts. That's straight facts. It's gone. Them days are gone. Now with Troy's situation with his label is a unique situation. Mm-hmm. Why? Well, a lot of Troy artists, even though he's dealing in the industry all around, Troy deals with a lot of the holy hip hop artists. Mm-hmm. Totally different situation. Totally different situation. Most of your holy hip hoppers have labels. Mm-hmm. Most of them do. Mm-hmm. On the other side of that thing, there's no labels going to sign you. There's no major label deals no more. If you're going to these showcases and you think somebody from a label is going to be there and going to sign you and they're going to spend $1 million, no, it's not going to happen no more. Them days are over. Mm-hmm. Get it out of your head. Them days are over. Yes, Mark, you did speak facts that labels do not do development, and the reason why is the labels themselves are not there. They don't sign artists no more. So why should I do development? I don't sign artists. You feel me? I don't sign artists no more. Most of this industry is independent, so the labels is like to the side for real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then let's get back to, you can't stress on, like with Mark, he talking about labels not doing artist development anymore. Simple fact that they don't have to. Music's not what music used to be.
That's right.
You focus on what other labels are doing. We want Market to be the best Market he can be.
Right.
Get to a person that does artist development. The labels don't do it no more. Scratch, but don't worry about what the label's doing. Be the best Mark you can be. Matter of fact, do what God's called you to do, and get with the right people, and let them show you what you need to do and how to improve yourself. Because we can't sit back and keep making excuses what other people are not doing. We are not going to move anywhere if we're going to keep looking at what other people are doing instead of what God called us to do. So Mark is out there. Do what God called you to do. Listen to what he wants you to do. Get with the right people. Let them groom you to a place to be, because
That's right.
Don't worry about labels because people are looking for advancement. Advancement is upfront money that you have to get back. And if you're not making any record sales, you own that. The label owns you. You can't get another label deal unless you pay that off. And when you go sign another label deal, that label has to get a piece of your money, or you can't even get signed or get released. So a lot of people getting so caught up in a record label. When a lot of record labels can destroy an artist.
That's true.
Go ahead, Kevin.
For real, like Troy said, the labels are not trying to give no advancement to no artists out there because of the simple fact none of them have what it takes for them to make the money back.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yes,
they
sir.
do not have that type of talent nowadays, and these labels say, "Wow, man, I'm gonna probably have to spend about $500,000-$600,000 in this artist just to make them out of something to sell." Now, once I make them out of this, is they gonna be able to sell this many units so I can get it back? You feel me?
Right.
It's not going to happen. The labels are not there no more. They're not signing artists. It's done. As far as on the Christian side, gospel side, it's done. You need to take all of the stuff that we're giving you. You need to write it down, and now this need to be your guide that you go by. Don't try to get with no label because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's over.
It's over.
No, it's over.
Wow.
Do we have that, that music that they be playing when people die? Do we have that music? Because that's what we need to be playing right now.
Because it's over. It's done. Huh?
It's over. It's done. Dead.
Wow.
So forget that.
Yep. And the reason I tell artists, and another thing, I have a label, and my label survives. Just the simple fact of I have connections, and I use connections, and I have personal relationships of basically with people who people normally don't have. I have relationships with a lot of major folks that I can make placements and stuff like that. That's why I'm still surviving with a label, because I'm doing other things that a lot of labels don't do.
Right.
I'm still able to put artists on major platforms to get major exposure to get there. I put artists on ABC Morning Show, Fox Morning Show, BET, Soul Train, MTV. But there's a lot of things that labels got to be able to provide, not just marketing promotions, but that is part of marketing promotions, is getting the artist out there. If you can have all the money in the world, if you don't have connections, it's not going to work. And if you have all the connections, you do need some money to make things happen, because you do have to pay some people to make things happen. That's why we call it music business. It's a Christian music business, because it's still a business.
Yes.
And some people you still have to pay to get in some places. There's Christian radio. You have to pay. You have to grease some hands, and it's been like that. Y'all can vouch for it. It's been like that for years. And if you can't grease the right hand, it's not going to happen. But if you did a lot of favors for people, and if people trust and really want to work with you and commend the things that you're doing, there's people out there willing to help you. But there's labels out there that have a little bit of money and no connection, and they just they're in the same boat as independent artists. If you can't jump for the artist, do not sign them. And let me tell Mark this. Mm-hmm. This is how you're supposed to look at the label. When you sign with a label, this is in the Christian industry. This is how we're supposed to look at it. You're entrusting to put your ministry that God gave you into someone else's hands, and you're trusting them under the eyes of God to take your ministry to new heights where God wants it to be. Now, if a label can't do that, do not sign with them. You have to listen to the Lord, and don't get caught up on labels. If a label cannot offer you what you're doing now or take your career to new heights where it is, do not sign. You get caught up on labels and all that kind of stuff. Form your own family. Form your own crew.
Yeah.
Form your own staff. That people believe in you, and you can make more impact because you're bringing people into this and trusting in you, and they believe in you to help you. Get off your butt. Don't be a Christian couch potato and move. Go to places where people are. Hand your CV to people. Give them away. Invest in yourself. Because some of them people going to call back. You got the information. They're going to might want you to come to their church and bless. And they sow your seeds. You can sow seeds in different places, but you have to do what God called you to do because you believe it. Your faith is in God's hands. Then you can make some moves. So don't get caught up on labels and all the things. No. Just go out there, do what God called you to do. And if God puts you in the right position with a label, then go for it. But always have your paperwork where it is because a record label can own you. And that's basically, you sign a label deal, and when that Mark knows that, you sign a label deal, they can change you. They look, I want you to wear a clown suit. You can,
that's the way it rolls.
Tell you to do, they'll sit you on the shelf. And you sign a 5-year contract, you shelf those 5 years. And guess what?
Right.
You even though
nothing out.
You can't put nothing out. God got you moved, but God didn't get you to sign that contract. God didn't put you in that situation. So always do what God called you to do because you can get stuck in those situations that you won't be a provider for your family because the moves you make that wasn't approved by God.
Wow.
Praise God, man.
I know that's right. Right, hold on. We gotta do some applause on that one, man. Shoot, where my applause at, man?
I don't know what happened to all the sound effects.
Yeah, we got the applause right here, bro. We got you right here. You right here.
Go ahead. Check me out. I can't hear it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got the applause.
You got to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, I turned it up a little. We need another applause. Let's do another applause on that because Troy put it down, man. Can I be like you when I grew up, Troy, man?
Turn it up.
Can I get the printed autograph, man? We got to turn it up a little. Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's turn it up a little bit. You know.
Oh, okay, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Troy was saying something about greasing the palms. I just want to say this little piece about that.
Great.
There's an artist a major artist, #1 record on the charts and everything, came out with a record. The record was #1. Now, he came out I think it was a year before it went #1. He came out with this record. He was giving this record away at the Stellas, and oh man, he was giving it away. Record didn't do anything. This artist paid about 80. He paid. I can't say his pocket, but I think it was estimated at close to $80,000-$90,000. And the record went #1. I hope you did. You get what I just said?
I got what you just said. Yes, sir.
The year before, he gave the record away. He was giving the record away. No one was messing with it. Nothing happened or nothing. The next year, the record went #1.
Wow.
#1 on the chart. How did it do that? How? But I just told you. This artist ended up spending $80,000 to $90,000 to push that project.
Wow.
That's the truth. That's a true story.
You know what? You know what's interesting about that? What you just said? He gave it away for free. It really didn't do anything. I mean, people probably picked it up and said, hey, you know what? But he was building a fan base. At the same time. He's building his fan base. He's letting people know, hey, there's music out there. Then he turned around and said, you know what? I can probably go ahead and try to promote this and sell it now. And people ate it up after that because he got himself established out there.
Well, what really ended up happening is once you're spinning, like Troy was saying, once you start greasing palms, now doors are start opening where doors wasn't opening at first. Doors now start opening up. So if I play a record enough, and I push certain images to you, eventually you're going to like it. All right? Eventually you're going to start liking that record. And then the next thing is we're pushing so much money to me that I'm going to make this record #1. Tamla Man. I'm going to take Tamla Man. Tamla Man, the record, before that record went #1, how long that record had been out?
Probably about almost a year or two.
Yeah, close to 2 years before it went #1. Tamla Man had a huge fan base when she first made the record.
Yeah, exactly.
They even did a Walmart tour. They did a tour through all the Walmart. The record didn't go #1.
Right.
But it just went #1 last year. Wow.
Right. Wow.
I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, think about it. Why did it take 2 years for the record to go #1? Why? It had to be some money involved in that. You know it was. It had to be.
And then a lot of people, the more and more you found about it, that Kirk Franklin had his hands all in it.
Yeah. Come on, be real. Come on, let's be real. So I was just backing up what Troy was saying about greases and ponds. These artists, a lot of these artists and ponds, the labels and all of that, though. So a lot of these artists paying that money to do all these showcases. I just made a post. I put up a post the other day. I was looking online. I seen this place had a showcase. I'm not going to say the organization. Had a showcase of $4,000 for 20 minutes. $4,000 for 20 minutes. Well, some artists is going to pay that money, even if they paid $1,200.
That's a lot of bread.
It makes sense. You artists that are listening in right now, I'm not trying to take no money out of no one's pocket, and it's just me to be straight and direct about everything that I say. Well, stop paying for these showcases. When you go to pay for this showcase, you ask that person, if I came to do a show for you, how much would you pay me? Ask them, how much money would you pay me?
Right.
If I come to do a show for you.
Exactly.
If they tell you, well, I probably wouldn't give you nothing. Well, why would you give them $400 to perform for you?
Exactly.
Why would you do that? Why would you give them $400 to perform when they wouldn't give you nothing?
Yeah, and not only that, check this.
But artists, that's the truth.
Hey, people game, but not only that, the money that you cried about the development and the marketing and the promotions, that could have went towards your market promotion to your project.
That's the second thing I was going to say. Artists got to be. See, artists get upset because, and then first of all, a lot of things are their fault because they don't use their money wisely. They do what instead of listening to a professional, they do what they want to do because they want a quick fix. They want a quick fix to say, okay, I'm going to pay $5,000 to get on Bobby Jones. But that gets you nowhere. Once you get on Bobby Jones, you wasn't that good, nobody's calling you.
Well, when the last time Bobby Jones broke an artist?
Exactly.
Now let's be real.
Exactly.
When the last time Bobby Jones broke an artist? You can Bobby Jones show, but
I can answer that question.
Go ahead, quick.
He broke a lot of artists' hearts. The fact is, they paid a lot of money to get, and not bash Bobby Jones, but they even including his. I mean, you said not to put no names out there, but the simple fact is, there's a lot of people. Well, I say that because it's not his fault.
Right.
You put all that money out there to get an opportunity that you thought you was going to get.
Yeah, that's right.
And you didn't get the treatment that you get, because guess what? There's people and places you give a lot of money to, and once you get there, they treat you like dirt. They treat you like independent artists, treat you like an amateur. You sit there until we call you, whatever. Just because you paid that. The money's already paid. You're not getting that back. Right. So when they get there, you gave them $5,000, you expect to be treated like a superstar, but you're still not. You're still that same person that nobody knows.
Right.
So now, like I went to the network the other day, conference, and everybody, all artists walking around the head around, because a lot of people know the image, because I brand my logo and everything. I brand my face.
Right.
But a lot of people walked around this conference. It was jam-packed. Now, I mean, it was a network conference. It was jam-packed. So everybody walking around socialized, the artists walking around with egos, had tables and selling their CDs and all this kind of stuff. And then my wife was saying, all these people here are all stuck up. I said, yeah, most of those people, what they're doing is wrong because they're going around promoting themselves. Instead of going to these people and seeing what these other people are doing that you shake your hands with, you up there promoting yourself. You got to know who is in your surroundings. Second of all, I told her, don't worry about these people sitting here with egos, because simple fact is, all these people who came here trying to make an opportunity with egos and don't get no airplane, don't get this, they're going back home the same people. When we
Wow.
go home, we still 3HP records, still making moves, still doing what God calls us to do, still the vessel that God opened the doors for and making things happen. And that's the difference between when we leave and they leave. So when these artists go to these conferences, be humble, know your surroundings, see who's who, because one thing about it, you never know what a person can do for you.
Exactly.
Most of these people in the industry, they're broke artists, those are people in the background. You never know who does what. You don't know what brand or know who this person worked for.
Exactly.
You don't know. You don't know who's a multi-millionaire that's there to bless someone.
Right.
So these people who sit there and stereotype, and these artists who got egos or not humble, and just because your church told you was good and you're not, the simple fact is, I'm not trying to shoot you down, the simple fact is always stay humble, because you never know what a person can do. A person might want to do something for you because you're unhumble, because you don't have no money, because this person sees that you've been wrong out there with these major people. So you never know what a person can do for you. So all these artists, telling artists now, always stay humble. And when you network, don't push yourself. Let your music, when you get in the CD, let it speak for itself. And if that music hit them, they're going to call you.
Wow.
Wow. Frustration. I have a frustration.
Go ahead, sir.
I see a lot of artists out there right now that are pushing other artists.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. No.
Not
I'm
good.
sorry.
Why is
We
not
are
good?
friends, but
What,
pushing Kirk Franklin is not going to sell your CD.
Wow.
So listen to me.
Wow.
Then pushing all of these other name artists or these other artists, you got to push yourself. You got to promote yourself, and it's nothing bad. Well, we support one another. Well, I tell you like this. When your mortgage is due, you go to that person that you was promoting and ask them, can they help you with your mortgage? Listen, promote yourself, people. Promote yourself. It's nothing against the next man about you supporting them. But when I put somebody out there in the front, you know who it's going to be? It's going to be me. All right, so I do see that a lot. So that's a frustrating thing. I'm like, why you not promoting your own music? You promoting everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Then another thing that frustrates me, and I don't care if you don't listen, but
Okay.
the next thing is I see a lot of artists promoting radio stations who don't even play their music.
Wow.
Wow, that's deep.
Wow.
I had to say that one. That was just a little stab. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. I just had to put that one out there.
Wow.
They promoting stations, and the stations don't even play them. Here it is. I play your music every day,
Right.
and you don't even listen to my station probably 2 minutes.
Wow. Wow.
Well, which I don't mind. I don't,
I
it don't
understand.
bother me. So if you don't want to listen, you don't have to. But go ahead.
Wow, this is what it is. Well, if you just tuned in, the Basic Foundation show is live tonight. Industry Frustration Part 3. The hot seat man is back in the hot seat once again. Kevin James putting it down. You got Troy Edwards in the house. TC with you. JFJ Live Talk Radio right here on the family station WOGS 1039. If any artists want to call in, we'd love to hear from you. Hear some of your frustrations as well. The number to call is 712-432-0075. Again, that's 712-432-0075. The access code is 885-995. You know what, KJ, man, you to put it down, man. That's so true. And the thing is that I look at it like this, man. I mean, we're here to help artists. The basis of this show is to help artists out there. I appreciate y'all, first of all, taking up y'all time, always coming on Basic Foundation, putting it down like you always do. And try to help the artists out. But artists out there, to my man Mark, man, I appreciate you listening tonight, man. Hopefully we actually saying some things that make you think and also make you, educate you on some things of what you can do and, help you with some of your frustration as well, in regards to artist development. But everything y'all said is just on point. So, I mean, Kevin had put out there about the radio station. I was about to kind of go there, but you just took the words out of my mouth. So I thank you for that, man. Appreciate you.
Wow. Oh, you just allowed me to go out there.
Yeah. Well, you the hot seat man. You gotta earn your keep. You gotta earn your keep.
I think I was a little too calm last week.
Last
week I was a little too calm.
You want to go ahead and be the hot seat, man. You got to go ahead and put it out there. But you know what? I have a frustration. I do have a frustration.
Okay.
I mean, one of my frustrations, I want to see you guys can come up with a solution to this, is that, well, it's a form of a question. Let me put it like this. With all that being said, with the artist development, things like that, because I know that's a sore spot for Mark, and I know a lot of other artists out there may be wondering about that. We talked about imaging and developing them themselves. Is there anything out there that they can go to, or anywhere they can go to actually achieve that development they're looking for, that we're so adamantly putting down tonight?
Sure. There's a lot of different places. I'm not going to pinpoint one place to go for artist development, because you have to go to the person that you feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. A lot of these PR firms do it. In fact, I don't want to put out a name, because if they go to the person, then it's not good.
Okay, well, I tell you what.
I don't want to do that.
I tell you, this is what we'll do then. You can either have them email you about it, or you can have them inbox you. However you want to do that. That'd be great.
I think that would be great. If they want to know more about artist development, you can contact me, Kevin at thechristianjukebox.com. That's Kevin at thechristianjukebox.com, or hit me up on Facebook, and I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you, and we can work from there. But I don't want to put no names out there, because I don't want no one to go somewhere, but a lot of people do it.
Okay. What about Troy? Troy, what you got on that?
Well, of course, I do artist development too, but I let the people know I do artist development the correct way.
Okay.
The correct way of doing artist development is you develop the artist, you develop in every way, obedience, and when you get out there, crunch time, just like P. Diddy with the cheesecake. Back when I was with Def Jam, when I was out there with Earl, of course, we known as DMX and stuff, Def Jam had us building stages. All the artists, Ja Rule and all of them, they were building stages. Def Jam had these people working to where they needed to be, because it teach them discipline. Mm-hmm. It will teach them to see how much you really want it. Even though you're a high artist, you're getting a little buzz, but they want to know how much you want it. If you wanted something bad enough, what you're going to do? You're going to put in work. Mm-hmm. I start artists off from scratch, old school, and that's where people need to go back to, old school. If we go back to old school, how things used to be done, believe me, this industry will be better. The artists will be better. Yeah. And the DJs are playing your music. Of course, they're going to be happy, and ratings and everything works better. Everything works hand in hand. Mm-hmm. If the music industry gets better, everything gets better. Mm-hmm. It starts from the top and you work to the bottom. And so I know that if the music industry can change, if people get into the mindset of working, not instead of being Christian couch potatoes.
Wow, not Christian couch potatoes. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I always thought Christian couch potatoes, because let me explain. I don't know if I'd explain. Christian couch potatoes is someone who's sitting on the couch waiting for God. Wow. And when God wants you to get up and move, because He wants to see, once I give it to you, He want to make sure you're able to handle it. If you sitting there ain't moving, ain't going nowhere, sitting there waiting on God, and not if you're sitting there waiting on God, and God had told you to get up and move, but you want things, the couch potatoes want things that's handed to them. They don't want to work for nothing. Oh. They want things to happen. They don't want no process. Most of these major, from Temptations on down, a lot of people don't realize these artists have built their career, went through things for over 10 years before they even made it big. Destiny Child didn't get a hit until after 5 years. It takes grind. The artist right now, once you start singing, you want immediate success. And if you can put your heart into it, and you put your grind into it, because the secular people believe in them, if they believe in what they call to do, if they believe in what they call to do is not what God called them to do, but they took it to a different level and took it to secular. The simple fact is, when you have a talent and you use it all the right reasons, but those artists in the secular music, they pack up their cars and move to Atlanta. They even pack their cars up and move to L.A. They pack up their cars and move to New York. They sleep in their cars because they believe in their talent and they want to take themselves far. How many Christian artists would do that? Slim and none. Well, God wouldn't allow me to do that. But a lot of these major artists went through a process and slept in their car, and they really believed what their talent was. And imagine if Christian artists really believed in their talent was, went out there and just gave their music away. Work hard. I'm not telling you to sell your house and do things. You have to listen to God. If God tells you to do it, do it. The simple fact is, how many artists are going to do with that part? So there's little tools and things I do take from the secular world, the mindset of what they believe in their talent so much. They sacrifice so much to get where they need to be. But what kind of sacrifice are we doing for God? When God called you and God gave you a talent, what kind of sacrifice are you making for Him? Talent means nothing if you have nothing behind it and the Lord's not guiding you.
Come on, preacher. He preaching on here tonight, y'all. You know what? I have a frustration. I got to bring it out. I think what's happening with a lot of music, whether secular or Christian, is the art of it is being lost. That's a frustration of mine. Mm-hmm. People don't really take time to be original anymore. That's one thing that frustrates me sometimes as far as playing music, because I don't want to be trendy. You know what I'm saying? As you was making reference to the music back in the day, if you listen to music back in the day, a lot of the artists had their own identity. They had the same style of music, but the identity of the artist was so different. And I think now, to me, we're in a microwave society with the music industry right now. That's a frustration of mine. I think we want to, get back to, I like live instruments. I like, things that made distinctive sounds and things like that. That's a frustration of mine.
And let me and dog, that is a good frustration. There's no solution to it, dog.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Pretty much I hate to say it to you.
Yeah, but it's real talk. It's real talk.
You're gonna have to go to bed with.
Yeah, go ahead and lay it down. I got you.
We can't solve that. That's something we can't.
Well, we can't solve it. We get artists to go back to do it. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, the reason why we're not gonna that is not gonna happen is because of the generation that is coming up in today's society. That's just not the way it was done. So they're not going to go that way. Some will give you some live instruments on their projects, but today's society with the younger people, no, you're not going to get that.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty much. Well, thanks for helping me out, Kim. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, but I'm with you. I would love it, but no, it's not going to happen. So that's a frustration that, we're going to be protesting for many years, and I'll be walking down the street with my cane, still protesting with you, but it's not going to change. Sorry.
Wow.
So, did I hurt your feelings?
No, I'm a little hurt, man.
Oh, Lord.
Got me a little misty-eyed, man. Got me a little misty-eyed over here, man.
But I really think that the artists today, they have to go back to the old day. I'm not talking about the instruments. You have to go back to when music was selling hot, when we was having platinum artists, 5, 6 platinum artists at a time. You need to go back to that. If an artist was real smart, that's what an artist would do. They would say, well, back in the days, they were selling millions and millions of units. How did they sell millions and millions of units? I need to know how they did it, how it was done. And if you go back to see how it was done on a development status. It was artist development, marketing, and promotion. You feel me? So if the artists really look at this whole scope, would nobody get over on them, because they'll say, I need to go back to the machine that was producing the machine when it was in the 80s and the 90s. How was they selling all of that music? Let me find that out. If I can find that out, maybe I can take that old machine, maybe I can add some new parts to it, and I can bring it into this year and do it. You feel what I'm saying? So artists, you need to think about that and stop. I mean, some of this old school stuff, like being on the BDS charts. Well, you need to be on BDS charts, and you need all of the BDS stations. If you got to have, no, you don't. You don't. Terrestrial radio is not going to give you what you need to push a project. Listen, all right? Terrestrial radio is not going to give an indie artist enough that it's going to take to push a project. And you know what it's called? Spins. You're not going to get how many you need to push your project. So you have to do things different. You're going to have to.
I see.
All right. So, all right. Go ahead, man. I don't want to get too hyped.
That boy got in there today. He done put it down. We just tuned in. Basic Foundation Show going forward right here on the Foundation Station. JFJ Live Talk Radio. TC with you, jamming for Jesus, Sons of Thunder. My man Kevin James, Hot Seat Man, put it down. CJB Radio, 3HP Records own Troy, Mr. Indi Mogul. Edwards is in the house with us, man. And man, we had a great time putting down. Hope artists, I hope you guys listen today. I hope you give us some feedback today. I'll tell you some great stuff going forth right now. Industry Frustration Part 3. And man, can I be like y'all not good? They just putting it down today. I'm speechless right now. I'm like, man, they didn't just kill me tonight.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah,
man.
y'all done killed me tonight, man. Kevin done hurt my feelings. He's talking about it's no more live instruments. The originality's gone. I'm like, man, what do I do next? Great day in the morning.
I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the generation. You know, that's the it's the same as the old schoolers saying there's no more LPs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Wow, there's no more LPs, man. No, it's not. Yeah. It's not no more LPs.
Well, they come out with vinyl again. They are coming out with vinyl again.
Well, let me tell you, people are not going into stores buying.
No. If you ever watch Crate Diggers? If you watch Crate Diggers, they still go back and buy a lot of those records. I mean, it's not new.
No, we're not going to do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
I'm not going to go into a Walmart and buy vinyl.
No. You can't buy it at Walmart, but you can go to a lot of the exchanges and different places like that still do. There's still a lot of people do still sell vinyl, though. That is the truth.
Yeah, we have to talk. I'm talking live.
Yeah, we talking live. We talking live there. I got to hip. Yeah, I got to hip you on. I got to hip you on to some stuff. I got to hip you on to some stuff, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, but you're right. They do sell it, but it's like a CD. When now people are like really kind of getting away from CDs. People are like, well, let me go to my iPod and let me go to my computer and let me load my iPod up with music. Yeah, it's not even let me go and burn a CD. It's let me go on a computer nowadays.
Oh, put it on my phone. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So it's a totally different. It's a different style, and we have to do this thing different.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything has to be done different. Even with the artist, you have to think different. All right?
That's true.
We're not talking that you can sell millions of copies, and that's why they don't listen to us, Troy, because we're not telling them, well, listen, if you go and you send your music out, you get a one sheet. I had artist today was telling me, do I need to send you a one sheet? I said, one sheet? Please. For what? You don't need a one sheet. What you need a one sheet for? For what? I don't need no one sheet. You don't need a one sheet. The artists themselves do not need no one sheet. For what? You're not getting major spins. What do you need a one sheet for?
Well, for interview purposes, for bio and things like that.
Man, please.
Okay.
Please. One sheet is no good.
Wow.
No. I think it's a waste.
Wow.
Send me a half a bio or something, man.
He's a half a bio. Wow. Really?
He's done where the personality has his own questions, and he asks you the questions. I don't need no one sheet. So it's dead for indies. All right. Well, let me stop. Go, man.
The hot seat, man, getting out there, getting hotter and hotter tonight.
Yeah, go, man. Go, man. Go, man.
No, that's good stuff. That's, hey, you said what you feel. Go ahead, Troy. What you got to say about that, sir?
Well, I agree, but one thing about it, only there's other colors and other generations and genres that do require one sheet. Mostly a lot of the white community stations and all that kind of stuff. They ask one sheet as a requirement. A lot of the black gospel, they don't require a lot of that. They just want, a little bio or anything. They basically want the music. Because as important in the gospel, we want to make sure the music is nice and all that kind of stuff. You got good things. But I think it's kind of a cultural thing, I believe, because a lot of the interviews that I do, that they do want one sheet, they want to read through it and all that kind of stuff and go through certain things. And I think it's more of a cultural thing than anything. Because a lot of people say, I don't need a bio. But if I do a dominantly white community station, they always want the bio and stuff and go through that, because I think a lot of them don't know our genre, don't know anything about us, so they want that information. Kevin and TC basically kind of know the who's who in the industry. A lot of people don't realize, okay, we heard of you, but we're not going to tell you that because we don't want to stroke your ego. Because we might heard of you, but we might not. There's plenty of artists that I heard of, but I hadn't heard their music. And just because you're getting out there and you making moves, don't mean that you got good music. I know one artist that gets out there, know her name every time. Her name comes up, I'm like, wow, her name's everywhere. And I went and checked out her music. Her music wasn't that good at all, but it was her grind. So if we can take the artist's mindset, we can take the artist that's not that good to have the grind and install it in the artist's egos that they think they already made it, we can come up with an artist.
Yeah, we can sell. Yeah, that was a good piece, man. That's a good piece, Troy. That was a great piece.
That's real good.
Yeah.
That's real good. I want to hear for some artists today, though. I want to hear for some
That's
artists.
what it probably today, that's what it will probably take to make a good artist. To make one good artist, you would need two independents. Wow, I guess now all the independents are probably going to go off my station now for me saying that.
The hot seat, man, boy.
What you mean, Kevin? It take two of us to make one. Won't listen to that station no more. Yeah, well, hey, yo. Who cares?
Oh, man.
Y'all been boycotting me anyway.
You throwing people off the station, man, already? Wow.
Man, no. No, I'm not going to throw them off. I say they're going to leave with me saying that. They're going to leave the station. What I just said.
Oh, no, don't let them go, man. Don't let them go. We need them.
Go, but I'm going to still say the same thing that I was saying. That it's going to take two independents to make one artist. I said it. You can put that one up on Facebook.
Put it on Facebook. Kevin said this, and I approve this message. Okay,
that's right. It takes two independents to make one good artist.
Well, explain yourself, sir. Talk to me about that.
Well, what I'm trying to, it's the same thing that Troy just said, man. He knows one independent who has the grind, don't have the music. The other independent don't have the grind, but got the music. Wow. So if I put both of them together, I'll come up with one good artist, right or wrong.
That's good stuff.
I mean, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
So the truth is true. So artists, what I'm trying to tell you is you need the whole package. And if you don't have the whole package, then it's not going to happen for you. Stop trying to waste your money going all over. You know another thing that kills me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord, I shouldn't even do this. because I'm just digging the hole, ain't it? I'm digging it deeper. I'm just digging the hole deeper. But hey, yo, why not? Another thing that is killing me is all the independent artists, and I did say it, so throw the eggs and everything at me now. You're running after awards that you don't deserve. Who is you? Say I don't deserve no award.
Wait a minute.
Say I don't deserve no award. I am. These artists going to these award shows because these award shows, as I said last week, these award shows want you to do and spend your money. So the artist said, well, I'm going to go to this award show regardless. You win an award. You're not on no radio station, but you get an award. Why did they give you that award? I don't know, because you didn't deserve it.
Wow.
Please, wait. Wow. Tell them people who giving away them awards, I don't deserve this. I don't want it. Give it to someone who deserves it. When I get myself together and I get everything in line, then I would want this award. But until then, I don't want no award. Please.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. So, you telling me that somebody got an award. Some people got an award that they're not on the radio. And they got an award for what? For best song, for best album, for best whatever?
Artist. I mean, now, I don't want y'all to think that I'm pointing someone out.
No, not at all.
But I'm just saying in general, they could have got the artist of the year.
So you mean tell me that we never heard of them? We never heard of them.
You probably haven't, and it's like they're not on no radio stations that I know of.
Wow.
They haven't. I never heard of them.
Wow.
Why should they win awards? Why should they?
Wow.
They're not even on internet radio. Why should they win awards?
Wow.
Do you say they deserve an award?
Now if they didn't earn it, I would say if they didn't earn it, no.
The only time you deserve an award is when you're doing some work. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. It's a reward. It's a reward.
Yes, sir.
And when people reward you, they reward you for working.
Right.
Okay, so if you're not doing any work, why should you be rewarded?
Wow.
Okay.
That's a very valid point, sir. That's a very valid point. Go ahead, Troy.
This is what I tell artists. A lot of artists jump on a plane, pay $300 for a ticket for an airplane, get a rental car, $200, get a hotel, $100 a night. Okay, it's over $1,000. Mm-hmm. You're going to an award show that you definitely going to win. Mm-hmm. Now, if you go down to you got $1,000, you want an award that bad enough that you don't deserve. There's a trophy shop down the street. They'll put together an award for you for $15, and you can walk out there with your own award, and then you can take the rest of that $950 and put it into your marketing and promotion. So the next time coming around, when you well deserve an award, you will probably receive that award. But it ain't going to happen within a year. It's a process. You have to grow.
Wow. Did you just say you gotta go down the street for $15 at a trophy shop?
Go down the street, buy you an award.
Buy you the award.
Who's gonna know, man? Go and buy you. It'll be cheaper. Ain't nobody gonna know. Put your name on it, and some from the Independent Music Artist Award Show, anything. Put your name on it. You'll save you some money. Say, I won this.
Wow.
Oh no, you didn't say that.
Oh, but y'all out there.
I'm trying to get the artists to put money in the right places.
Right.
That's right.
If you feel that you're well deserving and you did something for it, go ahead and do what you do. But the simple fact is, if you're jumping around and looking for award shows when you didn't put in work, your eye and heart are not focused in the right direction.
Wow.
These award shows like DMV, Christian Music Awards, what I do, these are honoring for artists for their hard work, because I want to honor artists for their hard work, because the major artists push them out of something, push them out of the award shows that most of these artists didn't deserve to be nominated in the first place. So I try to commend people in their hard work and say, okay, DMV Christian music, DMV area, there's a lot of hot artists. We know you're not getting the recognition, we know, but I want to show you appreciation because I know you're frustrated. I know Radio 1 won't play your music. They won't play a lot of major artists' music. They won't play the hot independent artists' music. But it's a process. So these are why I'm telling a lot of these independent artists, support independent radio stations, support independent award shows, support a lot of things that's going on in the area, support each other, support in unity, support building a fan base. Get your focus in that area before you start focusing on an award show.
Wow.
It's okay.
Yeah, no question.
No question. Expecting and wanting to be a part of something. There's nothing wrong going to these places to network, but who's going to network with someone who ain't doing nothing? A lot of these artists are too busy being busy doing nothing. Who's going to network with you? I get called all the time, Troy, I want to network and do, what are you doing? To do a partnership, you have to offer me something. You got to have either close what I have or more than I have, so when we come together, we can do some things. And if you're not coming, if you don't have to, you can't offer me anything that can help me, what's the partnership going to use? All you're going to do is use me as a crutch, ride my bandwagon to try to get where you want to be. No, I don't do that.
And try to steal your people.
A lot of people get upset when I tell them that. But I'm a businessman. I'm a Christian businessman. But I'm in the business to not just make, I'm in the business to make money. Because you know why? It's not about the money. I'm in the business to make money to provide for my family. Family come first. I know what the process is. I know what I work for. I know, and second of all, I know my worth. I'm not just going to up and jump and do things unless a person is going to treat me accordingly because I know my worth. And I want artists to know your worth. Don't be so quick to jump on and do all these shows. I did 200 shows this year, but how much recognition you get out of it? Did you build up your fan base? If you drop an album out of 200 shows you did this year, how many people are going to buy it? Did you capitalize on the 200 shows you did, or you just wanted to do 200 shows to say, hey, my face is on all these posters? Well, who cares? At the end of the day, when that event is over, who cares?
Nobody.
Wow. That's good stuff. Let me ask you guys this. Do you think now in this digital download age, is it more feasible to put out a single than an album now?
Sure
if your single don't sell, your album's not going to sell.
That's right.
So you keep focused. I would keep focused on singles until something pops. That instead of taking all this money, putting it in the studio project, and then rapping it and all that kind of stuff, and guess what? At the end of the day, nobody wants it. You get your feeders, the fillers when you're putting out singles. If you start making moves and people playing your music, okay, the process now is time to do an album. To start the process doing an album, build up your fan base. Do all the groundwork.
That's it. And you know what? It's not even too much that I can even say behind that, because the key point to it all is, why would you do a whole project when you don't even have a fan base to sell it to? It just don't make sense. So you're right. You have to grow your fan base. And I said something earlier about listeners and buyers. When you grow a fan base, don't just get 5,000 friends and think that you have a fan base. That fan base could be 4,999 of them could be people who just say, well, I like her music or his music.
Exactly.
But one of them is the only one that's going to buy it. So you have to separate it to having a listening who likes your music and someone who's going to buy it. So it's two different fan bases. So that's why it takes a while, man, in this industry. It takes a while.
Wow.
So that was some good stuff, Troy.
Yes, it was good stuff, man. Wow. Yeah. Well, we're getting down to the end of the show tonight, man. I mean, it's like, wow. I mean, This has been great. I gave a lot of solutions, and now I say that.
Amen.
That's an awesome show. I always tell you, speak to yourselves with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to your own understanding in all thy ways, acknowledge him. Let him direct your paths. And always remember the loudest thing you can speak to someone is your life. So God bless you. We'll be back with you next week. Same time, same station. Keep it locked right here.
God bless you.
Bless
I'm
your
out of here.
bones. Yes, sir.
Don't touch the dial, the sounds of thunder show was on the air again. TC and AB's gonna play your favorite jams, keep listening. Getting shits in his ear, putting the light in the way. Music that glorifies the land. Don't let the trials of this life bound you and hold you down for long. Turn on your radio, the sons of thunder's playing your favorite song. So put your praise on now, don't worry about the work it out, 'cause it's all a part